Hello you sexy bastards, we're back again with another video by the dude Mark Rober. This dude has some interesting video ideas, like he's kind of psycho but in a good way, okay? This is shark attack test, human blood versus fish blood. Can the shark tell what kind of blood it's smelling? I don't think so. Why would there be a difference? I guess we'll find out, yo.
Designed. And this is me in the middle of a shark feeding frenzy in that
I told you he's a little bit of a psychopath, right?
cage, which as it happens, doesn't actually keep the sharks out.
Bro.
But to understand how I ended up in the middle of the Bahamas
He made the video, okay? He's not dead. Maybe he's
with
missing a finger
buckets
or two.
of blood, surrounded by a butt ton of sharks, we've got to go back exactly 1 year. Because that's when I ran a test to see what really happens if sharks smell a drop of human blood in the water. For that experiment, I pumped out 15 drops of human blood per minute for an hour, pretty close to a bunch of sharks that in the end just weren't really that interested. So this busted the myth.
This would be a perfect time for a white people meme. Listen, I know that's a meme and all, but that's some crazy shit. Listen, I don't want to go near water. I don't want to go near sharks, okay? My boy over here testing blood a meter away from like 50 sharks.
From the movies that sharks are these ruthless killers that just go crazy if they smell a drop of your blood from a mile away. But those results made me really curious if the sharks would react differently to fish blood versus human blood. And if they did go crazy for fish blood, could I use that to put myself right at the center of a shark feeding frenzy? And so to satiate my curiosity, my friends at Discovery helped me make my way back to the Bahamas as part of Shark Week this year. But this time, I wouldn't be alone.
What up, Robes?
Oh, wow, Mark's jumping in on this?
What's up, y'all?
Look, last Shark Week, shark tried to kill me. I figure we'll have a little bit of science with Rober.
Bro, I think Shaq was a little confused. He probably tried to eat a couple of the sharks and they tried to run away. He's like, shark tried to kill me. No, brother, nothing tried to kill your big ass, okay? I don't think a shark can kill him.
A little bit of fun with Dude Perfect and a little bit of me. All right, y'all ready to do this?
The only person I recognize is Shaq.
Ready, sir.
I don't know who these people are.
Chop, chop. Let's get to it, fellas.
We will not let you down. Looking forward to it. See ya.
By the way, the chair the Shaq is sitting on, it's a king size. It's like made for 5 normal people.
Yeah, I've got this idea for a build to just really get me in close with the sharks. Last year, I was in the water.
Rober. That was me saying I'm finished with the call, bro.
No, yeah, of course.
All right, see you guys later. Let's get to it.
Let's do this.
Looking forward to it. See ya.
And so in the direction of Shaq Diesel, it was time to head to the Bahamas. All that was left was to swab my nose to prove to the Bahamian government that I didn't have coronavirus. The only
Bro, that shit went in deep. What the fuck? What is this, a porn ad?
was to swab my nose to prove to the
Bro. Huh? Is this a magic trick? Where the fuck did that shit go?
Bahamian government that I didn't have coronavirus. The only problem was my test came back positive. And this just made me really sad because not only was I going to miss out on this epic adventure, but as far as I was concerned, I was basically just waiting to die. And I had to interact with my family through the glass door to the backyard using a laser pointer, and not even Fat Gus would get within 6 feet of me.
That's a fast squirrel.
Now I'm happy to say I eventually beat the Rona and tested negative, but the only
Good man. Me too, buddy. Shit's not cool.
problem now is I missed my chance because they were no longer accepting any commercial flights from America, because we're #1, baby. So I was once again incredibly sad, until I found a loophole. Because while you couldn't go to the Bahamas on a public commercial flight, there were no rules against going to the Bahamas on a private jet. And since this was the first and last
I don't think they have to worry about too many people going on to the Bahamas in private jets. I don't think that's like a global thing.
time I would ever have my own personal G6, I acted like I'd been here before, like the true professional I am. I mean, mostly.
Can you lick the floor? Bro, he's actually alone on a fucking jet.
Put Elon on hold and transfer to Oprah.
Ah, okay.
And I should mention, flying across country on your own plane isn't the most ecologically responsible choice. So while I was in the air, I utilized this website called teamtrees.org, you might have heard of it, to plant enough trees to suck up the carbon not only from my flight, but the next 100 flights this plane would take.
Damn.
In the end, it's important you guys know I'm still super grounded.
Let's be honest, that shit looks cool, right? Still boring as fuck. It's a fucking plane, right? You ain't gonna do shit. It's a little ass plane flight. At least you're not butting heads with the dude in front of you, behind you, and to the right of you. Probably to the left of you as well.
And I didn't let the experience change me one bit.
Still a fuck.
And so now that I was in the Bahamas, the first thing I did was check in with my marine biologist, shark diving expert buddy Luke Tipple, because we need to figure out how to somehow get blood out of a fish. Oh,
Just like that.
this is how we
What do you mean?
The
Cut
first
head off.
thought is like, can you just freaking blend a fish?
Give it a shot. I'll be over here.
Dude, you've clearly never seen Willet blend. There's a whole YouTube channel dedicated to this. Ready?
Remember when I said in the beginning of the video he's a little bit of a psychopath? Scratch that. A little bit too much of a
Okay,
psychopath.
I think
What
if
the
we add a
fuck are
little
y'all
bit of
doing?
water.
Maybe cut it in half and then put it in the
yeah.
blender?
Oh yeah. This looks like the number 32 from Jamba Juice. We tried a variety of other techniques and eventually started hitting our stride, and the bucket started.
The good thing about Mark is
Hey, I mean, listen, after my little, encounter with the Rona, I still cannot smell shit, so.
it's his
But
stupid
that
idea,
does
but
not
he's
look
not
delicious.
making other people do it.
I respect that about me too.
Yeah.
I also learned this is what fish gills look like on the inside.
Oh,
They're
I've
like
never seen
pages
that.
in a book to increase the surface area, which maximizes the oxygen they can pull out of the water. So we've taken about 20 fish, with a little bit of help from the blender, turned them into this. If I'm a shark, I'm like, that's freaking delicious. Now that we had 5 gallons of mouth-watering fish blood smoothie,
Chill.
it was time to get some answers. We already know that sharks don't necessarily go nuts in the presence of a little bit of human blood, but would they go nuts in the presence
don't.
of a little bit of fish blood? And as a firm believer in the scientific method, it was time to test our hypothesis by heading out to sea. Once we were far enough from land, Luke and I came up with the game plan for the experiment. Basically, we would have 2 surfboards in the water. One would have a 5-gallon bucket of our fish blood smoothie, and then another would have 5 gallons of human blood. We would also have a third board.
Did you use the same method for the fish blood for the human blood as well? Huh?
That just had seawater as a control to make sure the sharks weren't just interested in the surfboards. Then we would pump out the contents of each of the buckets over the course of an hour and observe how many sharks approached each board. Then once we know which one they prefer after this, we'll use that tomorrow in the cage just to create the most wild feeding frenzy, right?
Which sounds super fun to me.
Because you're not in the cage. And so with the plan in place, all that was left to do
Psychopath.
was put the boards together and get them out with the sharks.
You're doing stuff. Science stuff, okay?
One of the limitations to last year's test was that the boards might have been too close to the boat. So it's possible some of the sharks actually smelled the blood, but didn't investigate it because they were just waiting for a handout from the boat. So this time, we basically placed the boards in the middle of the freaking ocean, super far away from the boat so it wouldn't be a confounding variable. Oh, and I should
Why did they put the surfboards so close to each other though? Shouldn't you put them like 500 meters away from each other?
also mention we ended up using cow's blood because it's really hard to legally find 5 gallons of human blood. And after talking with a couple shark scientists, they've shown experimentally that all mammal blood essentially smells the same to sharks. So it wouldn't affect the results to use cow blood in place of human blood. So now that all 3 boards were in place, we double checked to ensure each was anchored down to the ocean floor. Then I just had to start all 3 custom built pumps using our custom built remote trigger, which is the exact moment I realized it must have got busted while being shipped out here because it wasn't sending a signal, which sucks because there's absolutely no way to run the pumps manually. Luckily, a trick I learned while working at NASA is you always build redundancy into your systems, just in case. So we have it in the code that if no remote start signal is received after an hour, each of the pumps will just automatically start up on their own. It's just a feature we never had time to test, so we just had to firmly cross our fingers and hope for the best. I'm hopeful. We've had to overcome a lot to get here for this video. What's one more little challenge? And at exactly 1 hour, right on cue,
nice.
the backup code kicked in and saved our whole experiment. With blood now officially in the water, we put the drone into the air and started our observations.
Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. I don't think there's gonna be any difference. I think it's gonna be the same amount probably, depending on what's
And
closer.
things were pretty quiet for about the first 20 minutes, but then we had our first hit on the mammal blood board.
Mammal? Okay.
Shark, baby! You got it?
Sharks are evil.
But pretty soon thereafter, things started heating up for the fish blood smoothie board.
Oh my gosh. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Oh.
9, 10, 11 sharks around the fish smoothie board.
And then 10 minutes later, things were only more intense. Here you can see the difference in activity between the 3 boards. And while you're running an experiment and still collecting data, you really need to keep an open mind. But given what we were seeing, it was getting pretty difficult to remain objective. And so after an hour, we called the experiment and went inside to officially tally up the results using the drone footage.
All right.
And it turns out the mammal blood board was approached 8 times, the seawater
Hey, listen, anything past 0, fuck me, I'm not going in that fucking water, okay? If there is a 0.00001% chance of a shark biting my ass, nope.
Our control board was at 0, and the fish blood board had a whopping 134 approaches from a shark.
Jesus.
Definitely seems like this fish smoothie is where it's at, right?
It's pretty obvious. Massive blob of
His
sharks.
nipples are
blob of
erect.
sharks.
I think that's the go for tomorrow for maximum feeding frenzy.
Why are your
Now that we had
nipples
a game
erect?
plan for my feeding frenzy cage the next day, we headed back to shore and to our hotel to get some rest for what was to come. Oh, and fun side note, if the only way to get to a vacation destination is by private jet, it really cuts down on the crowds.
Damn.
We literally had
That's pretty
this whole resort to ourselves. Well, almost to ourselves.
Oh,
There were
cats.
like 40 cats who apparently
pretty
must
awesome, though.
also fly private. We woke up bright and early the next morning feeling refreshed and headed right back out to sea, where Luke and I prepared some massive bags of fish blood smoothie for me to burst open once I went down.
Wait, why is he doing that? Why is he going in a cage? I've seen enough shark movies to know that this does not end well, okay? Cage goes down, you fucking die.
It just seemed like a cool idea
Why?
to make a cage to get in the middle of a feeding frenzy until this moment. Now that they're making me put on freaking
Ball sacks
chainmail,
probably like this.
makes me reconsider
Inside
my life
of the body.
choices. If something terrible happens,
Is that
on freaking
chainmail?
chainmail,
Bro, my boy's putting chainmail socks. Respect.
makes me reconsider my life choices. If something terrible happens, Shaq, you gotta take care of my family because this is all your fault.
Haha. I mean, if
And
Shaq
after
was in
several
the
months of
cage, no one
prep,
was gonna come hit that
unfortunately,
cage, let's be honest.
it was time for me to get in. It also just so happens I might have forgot to mention this part to my wife.
I'm not looking under the water yet on purpose.
Wow.
She might have been under the impression I was just doing another experiment with surfboards and pumps. Sorry, sweetie.
Bruh. Sharks are already there, you're not even in the cage, what do you mean? What kind of psychopath are these people? They're over... Bro... They're over...
Not only was I wearing 10 pounds of steel chainmail for protection, but my vest is also filled with 20
Bro, you don't have a helmet. Protection for what? I don't see you having a helmet.
pounds of lead weights. That means I sank pretty fast, but also that the buoyancy to weight ratios were perfect for giving me practice for walking on the moon.
It's one small step for man.
Because like many of you, I will definitely go to space
That's
in
the
my
cage?
lifetime. Again, just haven't mentioned that to the wife yet.
Super Mario jump, here we go.
Bro, that cage does not look good. That cage does not look Very protected. Very protective.
Alright, you ready for the tip?
I mean, he must have survived.
Okay, Matt, the base is coming behind you right now.
Now that I had the fish smoothie bags and everyone was back at a safe distance, I just had to pop these stupid things.
Okay. There we go.
Everyone was back at a safe distance. This motherfucker's legit 2 meters away from the cage being like, let's go, bro, let's see the blood, let's see the sharks go psycho. Bro, what do you mean safe distance? He's over there. There's 3 of them. There's 3 blood bags unopened.
There you go.
They don't have cages.
Hey, what am I doing? Okay, the base is deployed. And here they come. Oh my God!
Nope. That's a big ass no for me, brother. Or they're bumping the cage.
That maneuver my hand, if I wasn't doing the T-Rex maneuver. Real bad. Oh, now they're literally like swimming circles around me. Oh gosh!
Listen, the only way I would let myself be in this water is if I was inside of a tank that's inside of a tank that's inside of another fucking tank. And I had machine guns.
Oh, his head's in the cage! What the crap? This is certifiably insane! Oh!
The sharks were literally trying to eat me through the bottom of the cage, so they left me no choice but to defend my honor.
Yeah, get out of my cage! Get out of my
Stop
cage!
touching it, it's gonna bite your little chainmail
I'm gonna
socks
kill
off.
you, Shaq! Get the heck out! Hey! Oh! Yo, Crook, get out of my cage, alright? They love our blended concoction.
We knew all along that the most dangerous part would be when I exited the cage, because they'd still be agitated and they'd be stoked
Exit the cage? Brother, you better make your own NASA little robot over there.
to finally have
At home.
access to the
I'm
soft,
living in
chewy
that
center.
cage.
Okay, the float kind of dissipated, the sharks is down a little bit. Okay, we're pulling the bait away, mate.
So the plan was for one of the other divers to distract them way off to the side with the bait box, and then I would get out as silently as possible so they wouldn't notice me.
You're wearing chainmail armor, brother. What do you mean silently?
That is intense.
I don't like the plan they have set up for survival. Doesn't seem very
Go ahead, open the door.
How does one swim in chainmail? I guess he swims in chainmail, that's okay.
Oh crap. That was loud.
Yep, put the cage back on.
Holy crap.
Put the cage back on. Faster, faster.
Luke, I need help, man.
Yep. Wife about to inherit a lot of money and a YouTube channel.
I want to get you back to the surface.
Wonder if wife does experiments with sharks.
Tough dive, we're on our way out.
I think someone should tell Shaq he can do his own stunts from now on.
The main takeaway for me for this experience is that sharks have been on this planet longer than the dinosaurs or even trees have. So they've had 400 million years of evolution to develop these instincts that are rewarded for smelling fish blood. Humans and cows would be an extremely rare delicacy, so it makes sense that it's not just hardwired into their brains. And so with all my limbs intact,
Yeah. That was a nice way to test that little little
tact, and with my
knowledge.
curiosity fully satiated, I will leave you with these profound words that, in my defense, might have been the Dramamine speaking.
As humans, we're always the predator and not really ever the prey. But this gave me a sense of what it's like to be a tuna fish.
If you're tired of staring at a screen this summer and you're looking for some excitement, and yet swimming with 20 sharks and a bunch of blood seems a bit extreme, then my friends at KiwiCo have got you covered. As you probably know by now, they deliver these really cool monthly crates that are designed to foster your creativity as a maker and creator and be super fun at the same time. They all come with really simple kid-friendly instructions, plus all the supplies you'll need to put it together.
So if you're tired of looking for a screen, just make yourself a fucking ballista.
So there's never any extra trips to the store. Each one also includes a booklet that talks about the science principles and where you might see examples of this in real life. Lots of people have told me I should make my own subscription box, but it just doesn't make sense because I honestly don't know what I would improve. This is exactly how I would do it.
Sharks.
I'm also friends with their founder, Sandra, and I can vouch that she's doing this for all the right reasons. They have 8 different crate lines that cover the full STEAM spectrum, from science and engineering to art and design, geared
Age
toward all
14 to
different ages as
104.
well. So if you want to support my channel and protect yourself from summer brain drain, go to kiwico.com/markrober or use the link in the video description to get your first box free. This also makes for a really great gift for any young person in your life. So thanks to KiwiCo for being so awesome. Thanks to the sharks for not eating me. Thanks to you for watching.
Okay, that's enough, brother. Okay, we just watched that. I have a question for you. Would any one of you motherfuckers, ever jump in a cage with sharks? My answer is yes, if the cage was on the shore and the sharks were like in the water. I would do that. If the cage goes inside the water, fuck no. Fuck no. Anyway, quick thank you to the YouTube members and Patreons, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye bye everybody, thank you for watching.